And it is time for Building Rural Wealth. We have with us Dan Miller this morning. Dan, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Aaron. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Nice to see you.
Well, thank you. Yep, I wheeled in here this morning.
You know what? You're getting along on that. You're riding wheelies and everything coming in.
You know, I hope not too many wheelies. I will tell you, I've scared myself a few times because, well, these guys have seen me around the office. I get going pretty fast. The problem is you get brave, and that's whenever, you get confident, you get brave, and that's whenever you have an accident.
We have with us this morning Ashley Franco as well. Ashley, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good to see you. How was your weekend?
It was great. Went to Colorado for a wedding, so short trip and all the way back.
All right, Building Rural Wealth. Why smart people make bad money decisions and how to stop. Dan, kind of tell me what we're talking about here.
Well, today we're going to, we see this all the time, that smart, capable people, business owners, professionals, leaders, sometimes we see them make poor money decisions, very smart, very capable people. And, it's not about intelligence, it's often about behavior, emotion, complexity, things that all of us deal with. And oftentimes it's just time, and it's not their background. So we wanted to touch on a little bit about that because that's very important to us and that we just see it in our business.
Ashley, let's talk about this. Yeah. We've talked about emotions many times. Emotions often override logic. Talk to me about that.
They do. So money is emotional. It ties to our identity, upbringing, our fears, and our hopes. Everyone has a relationship with money, and everyone's relationship to money is a little bit unique. Really, there's no universal, rational approach to money. It's all different due to your background, your values, and what you believe. And common example of this is selling in a market crash and saying, fear-based, I gotta get out. Or flip side, chasing the hot stocks, saying, hey, I want to get the most return possible, not taking in count that risk. Another kind of example of this is a parent helps an adult child financially while it jeopardizes their own retirement goals. And it's driven by love and it's a great thing, but it can derail long-term planning. So kind of some solutions to this initial one is kind of building space into the decision making. Hey, don't act in the heat a moment. Take a step back and look at kind of the whole picture. Maybe consider writing down your different goals and values so then you can kind of align the two different ones. Or just having a conversation with someone kind of objective. So someone who's not emotional about it and say, hey, what are the checks and balances? And do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah. Talk to someone that's not emotional about your money.
And that's a financial advisor.
Absolutely.
That's a great example.
Okay, Dan, I'm pretty good at this. I'm pretty good. And I know that I can do this.
I'm glad for you.
Overconfidence in their own abilities.
Well, we see that. And everybody, and especially high achievers, a lot of times, and I find myself guilty of it. There are places that I think I'm pretty good at things, and maybe I need help, maybe I don't, and, high achievers often believe they can figure it out themselves. That's, because if they've been successful, there's a reason for that.
Right.
But I will tell you, the older I get, the more, wise that I get. And I realize that there are areas that, that I need help with. I read a long time ago, the smartest people know their limitations. They know when to reach out for additional help in additional areas, and so I think that's very important. And in financial planning and money management, again, that's an area that a lot of people weren't trained in, and where we have that training, people that do what we do. And, there's just times whenever it's best to reach out to someone. So I think, everybody should recognize the value of collaboration. Perfect example, building this building that we just did.
Yep.
I've been around construction my whole life. I've built things on the farm back 25, 30 years ago. But, I've never built a commercial building in town. I knew I needed help, So it's a little bit like finances, go and ask for help and make sure that you got the best people on your team that you can.
Great point. Absolutely. Analysis paralysis and overthinking. I just think about it.
Yeah.
I study and I study and I study and I do nothing. Tell me about that, Ashley.
Yeah, usually the smarter someone is, the more they tend to overanalyze, trying to kind of predict every possible outcome before acting. So, example, like an investor reads every article, watch the videos, and then they still feel too uncertain because they hear conflicting information. So they sit in cash. And kind of just to put in perspective, over 20 years, cash has averaged about 1.5 to 2.5%. The S&P 500 over that 20 years averaged about 10%.
Big difference.
Big difference. And here's the kicker. Inflation over the past 20 years has averaged 2.6%. So if you were truly sitting in cash, you lost money. Silent killer, but you technically lost money. So why does this happen? Well, fear often sells more than optimism, and the headline news focuses on emotional headlines, which trigger fear and then short-term thinking instead of long-term planning.